Hello everybody, I'm sorry that I'm running a bit late this afternoon. I've just finished with a client, so now I'm getting myself all sorted, and Leanne will be joining us soon. Hopefully she's seen that I'm on and we're ready to go. I'm really excited about today's live. Let me just get myself set up. My little things ready and pull that down so that's not so bright. That's better. Cool. So now I'm ready to go and Leanne's here. Hey! All right, now let me get myself sorted. Sorry, I'm running late, lovely. I just finished with a client, so invite. I'm inviting you now. Let's see how we go with you connecting. Yes! I'm so sorry. Thank you for waiting.
I wasn't going to not come.
Because I know where you live.
You just like my door. Hey, where are you?
So I've just finished off with a client. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I've got to go. And just kind of, she's running out the door. So we have a viewer. We have a couple of viewers.
Yes.
Hello. Hello. Who's joining us? I'd like to know. I've got my notes here so I remember what my questions were.
Me.
Because that's... So tell us, okay, so this is my lovely dear friend Leanne. We'll get started and hopefully some people will join us again later, a little bit later. Leanne Mackenzie, tell us what you do.
So I've thought a lot about this because it's really easy to say that I lead women to a life of freedom and, you know, help guide them towards that. But a lot of people say that, and a lot of people, you know, have a particular, you know, like that's their catchphrase, and it really wouldn't make for half an hour of interview if I just said, oh yeah, no, I lead women towards that. So what I think the basis of what I do is I encourage women to change their lives, but change their lives from a place of their choices and their creation. So it helps. The way I work is there's two ways you can live your life, and at all times we're creating our life. So we're always creating what we have happen to us. Now that doesn't mean there's not outside forces, so I'm not going to go into all that, but what I mean is we can create our life from a place of unconsciousness and fear, or we can create our life from a place of what would I love and what do I actually want to create. So basically what I do with women is I introduce those concepts, and then I introduce some really simple steps and some really, really easy ways of doing that. Now, when I say that steps are simple and they're easy, yes, they are, but they're hard because they create what we would actually love. And to create what we would actually love, then we actually need to have an idea of what we desire, an idea of what we actually want to bring into our lives. And we make mistakes because we're human, so we think we want something and then we don't, and so then our ego also obviously gets caught up in all that too. So yeah, I think basically that's what I do. Obviously I use different tools to do that, and yeah. So do you want me to talk about the tools I use, or what do you...
Yeah, sets you apart from other practitioners with what you do?
So the biggest thing I think with this one is that I don't believe a woman is ever broken, and I don't believe a woman ever needs to fix anything. Every woman is perfect in their imperfection every day, in every moment, and there is absolutely nothing in their life they need to fix to be whole. We are just whole, and we can choose in each moment if we step into our wholeness and our greatness, or if we're going to live from that. And as I said, it's a similar kind of thing to the creation or the unconscious creation. So so that's probably the biggest thing that sets me apart from a lot of people, because that place, there is always love for self. Always. There's always compassion for self. And that doesn't mean that we always show up with that. I certainly don't always show up with love for myself, and I've been doing this for a long time now. But I think it's really, really important in the way that we work, that I work with women, is that is the underlying emphasis. Anything that you choose to come in and heal is a choice that you are making. And so it's not because you have to. It's not because it's anything you need to do. You know, as you are with trauma, without trauma, with everything, you're just perfect. That's it. The other thing that is different with my method, with alchemy, is that it's absolutely not a cookie cutter method. So there is no way I can create a course or, you know, a 12-month, this is how it's going to look for everyone. It is always different for every woman. We have so many different and yet similar issues that inside us that we struggle with. For example, mine is always that I'm not enough. I'm not enough. So for someone else, that's like, well, I'm enough, but something else is their underlying belief. And so for every woman, it's going to be different as well. So, and our life circumstances, some women, for example, I chose to leave my husband at the end of our marriage. For some women who find themselves in a situation that I was in, they would say, no, I'm going to choose to recommit to my partner. I'm going to choose to be with this person and choose him or her over and over and over. And it looks really different, but it comes from the same place of the inner trust that they are choosing their own life. And that's, so it's always different. You can't, 10 weeks to success does not happen. It's for some women it's 10 weeks, for some women it's 10 years. So yeah,
and it's supporting them in those choices that they make, so you're there to help them through when they're making those decisions. And
absolutely. So the way I work with my coaching is that women have access to me, especially when they're in crisis, through text messages as well, because this is really deep work. It's not light and airy and fairy, and there is always a negredo. There is always the winter of the soul if you're working this properly. And so I mean, you can't push a woman through this. It is her journey, and I am simply there to be support, answer questions, and guide her back onto the path of creation, because it's really easy, especially for our egos, to help us jump straight back across to I'm not enough, or all of our patterning. And that, I mean, the minute that we question ourselves, the minute we throw ourselves into what we would love, it shuts off everything else, doesn't it? So when we make a choice, you know, we go, I'm choosing this man, well, then that cuts off all these other men. And so our ego goes, but hang on, what about that man? He looks good. And so in that moment, it helps to have someone there that can go, let's just go back into your choice. Let's go back into circle. Let's see if that choice is actually true for you right now. So that's what I do. I'm just there to guide them and keep them on their next most obvious actions. Yeah,
right. So staying honest and staying with what's right for them in each moment of each step of their taking towards what that overall goal is, or what that picture looks like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. And what's one of your clients' best success stories so far?
So I decided not to go with a particular client with this one, because this happens for every woman that I know who's even touched alchemy at all. And so I really want to touch on this because I think it actually happens for women in general when they get to a certain age, stage, womb activation, whatever you want to call it. It happens at different times for every woman. But there's a moment in their life where they go, I'm not happy, wrong, blah, 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 right? Whatever it is. And they start to tell a truth. There's a little truth that they tell. Sometimes it's a huge truth, like huge, like I want to leave my husband, I'm not happy anymore, but it's like a rabbit hole, and it starts to open up this vortex of, okay, what else do I want to change in my life? What other truths aren't I saying? And when we start to tell those truths, our lives change dramatically because it opens space. We were talking about this the other day. It opens space in our life for what we would love. So we can then start going, okay, I've told a truth. I don't want those dogs to live with me anymore. And now they can go, and that open space. I mean, it might not be for your yard to be lovely, but it might be, oh, now I've got space for my business, because energetically, all we're doing is opening space. You know, we don't have to, it doesn't have to relate to the thing we opened space with. And the thing that's really interesting about the truth is that it's a gift that keeps giving, because we forget as humans that we can keep telling the truth. We can keep accessing that side of us. And what happens the more you do it is you start to get addicted to telling the truth to yourself, and you start to be like, okay, I'm feeling really crap today, and I'm angering quickly, and I'm not understanding why I'm being cranky with the kids today, and I don't get this. What am I saying to myself? What am I not giving myself right now? And what is it that I would love? And if you can just sit with that uncomfortable feeling for long enough and get to the bottom of, actually, you know, I really don't want to take them to dancing tonight, and I need to have a bath. And you say, hey, partner, can you take them to dancing? Because I'm done. And he goes, yes. It's like, oh, and I mean, they're free to say no. There's always that free. And you could go, okay, I've still got to take them to dance. Or you're not going to dance tonight, but I'm still going to take them to dance. What can I do to nourish myself through that? Because you've realized that you need nourishment, or whatever it is. But once the truth is spoken, there can be a way to alleviate that stress, that inner stress of, I'm not speaking truth. And it's not outwardly like, you know, speaking it, but it's telling it to yourself. Yeah.
Yes. So you're saying when you name how it is you're feeling, and really facing it honestly with what's going on, and instead of trying to escape it, then that's when it creates more space, and you get those moments where you're like, oh, I've actually acknowledged this, and I can make something from this.
It creates magic. And what it really does is it starts to build more trust with yourself too. So, I was reading a post you put on earlier about gathering evidence for things with the neuro stuff. It's similar, isn't it? In that, if you start to build rapport with yourself, that you will actually listen, you know, because how don't listen to our truth. We don't hear, or we hear it and we push it away. It's like we go, oh, I don't want to look at that. You know, I don't that. And it's just,
I'll do that another time. Does not.
So we down. And so we start to build evidence then that, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I feel something, because you're not going to listen. And it's not about anyone else. You know, it's whether you're going to listen to that truth. And I mean, there's so many times that I've been in sessions with my mentor, like for myself personally, where I've just gone, oh my God, like I'm not even choosing that. Like I say I want it and I'm not choosing it. And then I go, I wasn't telling the truth. And the truth is this. And now I can take the action, and the action is going to change my life. Because it's telling the truth is really special, and that's really important. But the action is what actually shifts.
Yeah. So it's like kind of taking that mask off to reveal what it is you truly want for you to be able to take those steps forward, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the more you practice, it's like anything, the more you practice it, the more you do it, you know, the more it's the trust thing. It's trusting yourself. The more you'll be able to then go, okay, yes, this is something I really love and I really want. And so I'm going to act on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. So it's I've known you for quite some time, and I've seen the shifts that it's made with you and the conversations we've had, and it's been pretty amazing, the conversations that we get to have, because they're truthful, they're honest, and it's I guess that's what I'm seeing with the work that you do from like a personal perspective, is that there's days and moments where you're not feeling so great, and there's no pretending. It's like, actually, it's not looking so great right now, but this is what my vision is, and I'm going to keep holding on to that.
I think one thing that shifted for me a lot with and I was going to mention this later, but one thing that shifted for me a lot with this work and what it's given me is an ability to laugh at myself, like truly go, and not in the moment, you know, I'm human, and there's moments where I'm down and nothing feels like it's good. You know, I mean, it's been a long time since I've felt like that, but that's a real feeling. That's something I will not be ever dismissive of. There's moments where everyone is just like, I don't want to, like, I don't care anymore. I just want to make the or do whatever, and I want everyone to go away and shut up. Yeah. And that's really true. The difference, it's always in the action, isn't it? So coming from that, giving yourself the compassion and the space to go, okay, tonight I don't feel like this. I'm going to have a glass of wine and I'm going to go to bed, you know. And but it's still coming back every time to what would I love, and respecting, because sometimes there's times when I'm like, I've got this to do and this to do and this to do. What would I love? I just want to go to sleep early, but I've got this to do and this to, and that's just ego, like it's just ego. And get into what would I really love? I just want to go to bed early. Okay, well, can I show myself the compassion to do that? And in the morning, not always, but in the morning I get up and I'm like, now I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and I get it done before breakfast. And it's like, so glad I didn't push myself through that.
So really listening, being in tune and listening to what it is that your needs are for you and your soul to nourish yourself. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. But it's a big journey, because when I first started this work, I didn't even know what I wanted. Past a cup of tea. So I tried, you know, it's a practice to constantly, it's one of the first practices that come up, is to ask yourself, what would I love? What would I love? What would I love? And every time I'd get a cup of tea, because that's as far as I could get, because women tend to go, okay, well, there's a smorgasbord of things I could have. Yeah. But he's going to need that. And the kids are going to need that. And then mum's going to need this. And then, and this one's, and then this person's going to need this. And this is what I've got left to choose from. I've got these crumbs of the smorgasbord, you know? And so I'll have the cup of tea. I really want to go out for a run, or I really have amazing sex, but I'm going to go for the cup of tea. Yeah. Because that's what I've got left here that is acceptable for me to want. And so it's relearning. It's really, really learning and going, okay, actually I can have what I would love. What would I love? And I can have that.
And as you said before, like I think you mentioned before, it's like baby steps. It's like you start small. The more in tune you get, the more you kind of open up to what more you could actually.
I think it's a courage thing too, you know. And you do more, so you can take those bigger steps. You can go, okay, I'm going to take something that's a bit bigger. Yeah.
Very good. We've got lots of people joining us tonight, Leanne. We've got it feels weird calling you Leanne.
What do you normally?
I don't know what I'm like. I'm just thinking, what do I normally call you?
You?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to.
We don't usually call each other by name. Just, I don't know. We don't. That doesn't matter, does it? It's like an age thing. So yeah, we've got like 8 wonderful ladies that have joined us. Do any of you have any questions that you might like to ask Leanne about her work?
So I can see Vanessa has asked
yeah.
a question there. Yeah, so it says,
really?
what if you tell the truth but you never act on it, and how do you act on it? So I think we've kind of touched on that a little bit, actually. So how you act on it is to get yourself get a coach or get a really strong support. And the reason that I say get a coach and not a really good friend is because we're human. And if I'm just going to really lightly touch on this as well, especially if it's a female friend, there's a really strong thing happening with the female betrayal wound at the moment. So don't set yourself up for failure is what if there's a clean and clear energetic exchange with someone who can support you through the process of what you would love and what you can create from that place. And to be honest, if they're really good, then they're going to say, this isn't coming from a place of truth. This is coming from here. You know, that good coaches can see that. So I would recommend maybe not even just a coach, a kinesiologist, get some outside, get some outside help. But a holistic person, not because I wouldn't recommend just. I mean, I just jumped. I didn't actually have a coach when I walked away from my marriage, so it was within weeks that I found my mentor. But it's real truth, and you're not taking the action, then the lessons are going to keep coming up, and they're going to keep coming at you, and eventually it's going to get to the point where you have to jump. Or you have to shut yourself off. I think I'd rather jump. I don't think anything worse in my eyes than a woman who has shut her soul off just to survive. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I can agree with that. Absolutely. Do you have any more questions there? And has that answered? Who asked that question?
Vanessa?
Oh, Ness. So did that answer your question, Ness?
It says, she's just written, it all comes back to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And are there any other questions on there? Because I can't see the comments.
Okay. Vanessa, I'd really love to have a chat with you about what you're saying, maybe not on here. Yeah. Or maybe have a chat with Amanda, and we can do that maybe later when it's not live. Yeah. Cool. But there's no more questions other than.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I have another question for you. Yes. So I had said how I'm all about encouraging women to young women and mature women to show themselves love regularly. How do you show yourself love?
Well, I show myself love at every moment, you know, with what would I love? That question that constantly goes through my head. And recently I've actually stepped into a new thing for myself personally, where I ask, what would pleasure have me do in this moment? So it's kind of the upgraded question for me of what would you love? And I've said it to myself so many times now, it's kind of like getting like, well, you know, it just goes on repeat. So I shifted it around a bit to what would I love? What would pleasure have me do in this moment, which I stole from another friend of mine. And so that guides me, you know, into, I'm playing with pleasure at the moment. So it guides me into, you know, that kind of side of things. But what I do on a physical level for myself regularly is baths, a lot of baths. I take myself to the ocean as often as I can. I look after my body. I speak kindly to my body. That's a new thing, really new thing. But I make sure that it's something I take really seriously now, speaking kindly to myself. And I just, wherever I am in every moment, I'm mindful of where I am, and I make the most of that moment. And that sounds, I mean, there's times when I still find myself leaving my body. For example, if I was to go to the dentist, I wouldn't necessarily be, all up on the whole, this is so much pleasure. But I would be aware that, maybe I'm leaving my body. So just even keeping myself aware of where I am, energetically.
Yeah.
And I find that if I can be present, then most things are enjoyable. And feelings that aren't enjoyable, and I'm not talking about the deep grief or deep depressions, those kinds of things, but even if we're just feeling angry or frustrated, if we actually let ourselves feel that emotion, it lasts maybe 90 seconds. Like, it really doesn't last long in our body. So I just let myself really feel it. And I let myself get angry. I get angry, I actually do have that part of myself. My chakra one is quite strong, so I get really like and riled up, but I let myself do it. I obviously look for a healthy outlet, but it's gone quickly now that I do that. I don't push it down. I don't try and make something that it isn't. I certainly do not in any way, shape or form think women shouldn't be angry. I think we all actually should be more angry a lot of the time. And so I think feeling it and letting myself be however I show up in each moment is probably the biggest act of self-love that I can give myself. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great answer.
I'm glad you liked it.
And do you have anything special that you wanted to share with us before you head off? There's no more questions.
No, there isn't. There is.
Okay, so is there anything else you wanted to leave us with tonight?
I was going to do a blessing, but I actually found a piece that I wanted to read instead, and it's by Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. She wrote The Women Who Run with the Wolves, and she is probably by far my favorite poet, writer, storyteller. She's incredible. Every woman needs to listen to this woman. If you're not someone who can read, she does audiobooks as well, and they are just beyond. But yeah, this is something that resonates with me so deeply, and I read it probably at least twice a week just to give my soul permission, because we don't, as women, give ourselves permission often enough. And I love this. So I'd like to finish with this. When they say, who do you think you are? Tell them who you are, and don't hold back. When they say, I put up with it, you have to put up with it too. Say no, 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 no. And when they say, I've suffered a long time and you have to suffer too, say no, 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 no. When they say, you're an incomparable woman, a defiant, hard to get along with, unreasonable woman, say yes, 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 yes. And I have worse news for you yet, because we are teaching our daughters and our mothers.
That is very cool. What's that?
I actually don't know. I found it on another friend's Facebook page, but I will find out and put it on. I will post where it's from. Yeah,
that would be great. And lastly, your links. Can you let us know where to find you? You're on Instagram as well as...
Yeah, so Instagram I'm a little bit more active than my Facebook page. I do have a Facebook group for women. Not to be exclusionary to men, but women's work is my work. So it's a lot of it is really helpful for the masculine as well. I mean, we have both feminine and masculine in us anyway, but I tend to work more with women. So my Facebook group is women. And I have a website as well where I do some musings and blogs. But also that's where you'll find out about coaching if that's something that you wanted to come along to. So, yeah.
Cool. And what's the name of the Instagram account?
At Lee Macker. And my Facebook page is Leanne Mackenzie. And my website is leannmackenzie.com.au.
Cool. And so after the live, can you pop in the comments your links to your Instagram and your Facebook page and your website, and then people can go there and they can go and have a squiz through and they can PM you if they want to contact you.
Yeah, or contact me through my page or however, Instagram, email is listed on my website as well, and there's a contact there as well. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. And it might even be really a good idea to also sign up to your email list, because I love getting your
newsletters. So, and it's changing. I'm in the process of changing my newsletter, which is really exciting. We're going to be doing a similar thing with really inspirational women who live a life of freedom, but also do new moon reviews of what's happening, and there'll be journal prompts and some other witchy stuff. So awesome. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Oh, thank you so much for joining me. It's been so awesome listening to everything that you've been saying, and I hope that you women have loved it as much as I have. But yeah, Leanne's going to put her links in the comments below, so if you want to go and check out any of her Instagram page, Facebook page, and her website, all those details there, you can private message her if you want to ask her any more questions or get in touch with her in any way. And we thank you so much for joining us on our first interview. I think I'd have to say it was pretty much a success.
I think it was a success.
So thank you so much.
That fine.
Yeah. And I'll probably see you next week for a cup of tea.
Yeah, I was thinking that. We'll sort that out.
Yeah. All right. Much love to you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing your wisdom.
Anytime.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. That was our lovely Leanne. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you all next week for next week's interview with Shirley Ann Joy, who hugs the world. 6 p.m. next Thursday. Much love to you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. We both really appreciate you checking in and listening and asking questions and being interested. Loved it. It was great. Thank you. Good night.